Right. So you might already have a little bit of leverage in your business right now. If you have employees that are currently training clients like in your place, right? They're working for you, bringing in those clients and that income. So that is one way that you can use leverage right now. But I'm talking about what happens. Your gym can only hold so many people, and there's only so many hours in a day to get those people in. So we get capped out pretty quickly on how many people we can have in, unless we want to expand outside of our four walls, which is how an online program really works. We're able to go outside of that brick and mortar business and start to reach more people, not only in your own community, but really all over the world, which is pretty spectacular in my opinion. So the online program that I've helped, the most recent one that I've helped set up kind of in a one-on-one situation, he started from scratch. Okay. He was a coach at Orange Theory. Okay. So you hit a ceiling when you are an employee for someone else, and there's only so much you can do. And he knew that he wanted more. Plus, he needed to generate revenue whenever things got a little bit tough and people weren't going out to gyms as much anymore. Maybe they're shut down in certain cities, whatever. So we came up with a formula that has proven to be super successful. And now we're able to replicate that over and over again. But he started from scratch. So many of you listening to me today are not really starting from scratch. You have your own business. You have your own clientele. You probably have an email list or some type of database that you could move into an email list. So you are above where we started with this particular client. So in just 4 short months, he was able to pass $18,000 in collected revenue from his online program. And $3,000 per month of that is recurring revenue. So if you think about what do you have right now, you have memberships, right? But those are in person. They need to come in and be served. And if they stop coming in for whatever reason, then they're probably going to stop paying. But if you were able to offer them a way to continue that membership online, where it doesn't matter what's going on, it doesn't matter what your business hours are or how many people are in the building at one time, you can still serve those people. It's really impactful. And because it is leveraged, right? You've created this program that they get to come to. You're not really trading your time for money. You can price that at an affordable price that you might be able to serve more people that maybe can't afford your prices to come into your gym to begin with. So there's so many benefits to offering this online model, this online program, not only for your own bank account, but for the people that you want to serve and for the healthy lifestyles that you want to help promote, not only in your own community, but even outside of that as well.
No, absolutely. And I would totally agree to that. Obviously I'm in this world, but a lot of the folks that are listening are probably like, what do you mean online program? Is that like an ongoing program? You mentioned reoccurring for this client that you worked with, but what is this in the fitness industry, you hear all the time, 6-week, 8-week, 12-week program that gets somebody to a specific goal. Is this something that's that plus something else, or what would you recommend here?
Yeah, so we have 3 different kind of levels that are, I left 3 prongs, 3 levels. It all works out for getting people into these programs and getting them real results and wanting them to basically begging us to take their money, if you can imagine that. So what we do is I'm going to share in really big detail behind the scenes in another segment, but for now, I'm just going to kind of touch the surface on how you can do this in your own business or start to get those wheels spinning on thinking about how you could do this in your own business. We started out by basically just gauging interest. Okay. We just wanted to know if we did this, who would be interested in it? And there's so many different ways to do that with your current client base, with your social media followings and everything else around you, with your, maybe you have some promotional partners, or maybe you advertise. There's all kinds of ways to gauge interest if you decided to move forward to create something like this in your own business. One thing I almost always teach is to sell first, then build. That means that we want to make sure that before we start investing all of our time and energy into creating this thing, this online program, this course, whatever it is that you choose to do, that there's going to be people that are going to pay you for it. We don't want to sit here and waste our time building this out and then have something that we really love, but it just sits there because nobody wants it. So that's first and foremost. So we just got to gauge interest and make sure that people are going to actually pay us for this idea that we've got. So we can do that in a bunch of different ways. I'll talk more about that in the next portion. But then from there, we do pretty traditional gym model of a challenge, okay? So you probably already have done a challenge or two, a 6-week challenge, a little black dress thing, like whatever you do, those little, try to get people in at a lower cost possibly, and then move them into membership later. It's the same idea, except we're just doing this all online. And what's really great about it is we do it once, right? Or maybe twice, where we're really involved. We're creating the content. We are, just really working hard at the beginning. But after we've done this a few times, a few months, a few challenges go by, it starts to run on autopilot. Because we've already created the content, we've already filmed the workouts or the videos or whatever needs to go with it. We've already created the graphics. And so now if we do this ongoing challenge model every single month or every other month, however often you want to do it, it starts to run on autopilot. You can have an assistant help you load information into the portal, the Facebook group, however you want to run it. And it really does become a great leveraged piece for you. But you're also changing lives at the same time. You're really giving people what they need and meeting them where they're at, in their homes, in their businesses, whatever. One thing that's been really powerful for us is that, and it's interesting how you can niche down whenever you're working with your online program, maybe a little bit differently than inside your gym. And it just kind of happened by circumstance, but educators were coming in to the program as kind of teams, right? They wanted to create some type of competition with each other from school districts or within school buildings, but they weren't able to go out and meet each other at certain times during the day for a specific workout or whatever. And whenever you're joining a place that has those types of programs, it can be kind of pricey. And if we're working with teachers, for example, or administrators, their budgets might be a little bit more restricted. So that was one cool thing that has happened lately, is that these groups of teachers have started coming in and doing these 4-week challenges together, which then they get results and they start talking to more people. And so it snowballs. Your niche could be, maybe you want to work with a group of nurses or doctors in your community or whatever. Like it just, the possibilities are endless.
Yeah.
So, but the premise is we gauge interest, we create a challenge, usually about 4 weeks. It's all online. It's not live training. Okay. You can record these things in advance and program them to play or put them in a membership area. We can talk more about that. And then from there, we want to move them into something that's ongoing, like a continued membership, where you continue to support them, you continue to maybe give them workouts that they can do, guidance, nutrition, whatever it is that you want to do with your program. So that's the 3 basic ideas behind this entire program.
And that's great. And you said something back, like, a couple minutes ago that you kind of talked about but brushed over. I really want to hit this home, because this is where people get not confused, but they think this thing's so big and they get paralyzed from doing it. But what you said 2 things. You said sell it first, then build it. Number one, to determine engaged interest. So now you can actually collect some revenue, and you can do that through, like, say, a beta version or a quick start or whatever, early bird pricing, get some interest. But then when you do this for the first time and you maybe you're going live through it, or maybe you're recording it, you only have to be 1 week ahead of the group.
Absolutely.
And that's the kicker here, is that you don't have to build 4 weeks of material out in advance. You just got to be 1 week ahead. So everybody's got fresh content, but then once you're done with that, it's there, it's recorded. So don't forget to record.
Yeah.
Don't forget to record.
Yeah. One thing I love about sell first, then build is basically, I mean, there's some prep that goes into it beforehand, right? We just don't go, oh, hey, I'm selling this thing, and then you'll figure it out. Like, we're not winging it completely. But I love the idea to get paid to create your product. And that's what I help people do all the time is I want you to not only get your investment back if you're working with me, right? Or anybody else, but I want you to get paid for your time that you're using to create this actual program that other people are going to be using ongoing. So I love it.
Yeah, no, I love it too. And I think the wheels are turning. And you mentioned this client that you had wasn't a gym owner. He was an actual coach at Orange Theory in this circumstance.
Yeah.
But this might be something, if you're a gym owner watching this right now, and you've got coaches and they have got some talent and they could create something and you guys can partner where you're not actually doing all the work, but you're helping support, maybe market it. Maybe you're learning and maybe you work with Amanda to get and pay her to get it off the ground, but you're leveraging your coaches to kind of perform. That's kind of where my head's at as a gym.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah, I'm thinking like, wait a minute, my time's limited, but this is a great idea that we can leverage time and then we can resell this over and over. Maybe just leverage your coaches. So that's a double leverage situation, right?
Well, and you could even structure it to where they're getting a commission, they're getting paid for the more members that they bring into your online program as well. So that incentivizes them and keeps them motivated to want to continue to grow with you instead of being frustrated. You get frustrated when things slow down. Like people just get really stressed out. They don't know what to do. They get overwhelmed. So if you're creating something together as a team, it's only going to make what's happening inside your building stronger. And then outside, you're going to convey that too.
And there's probably some like unwritten things here that could be potentially happening. You might be getting exposure to people that would not have normally known about your gym. And then they get to know you, like you, trust you. All of a sudden now they're coming into the gym when maybe they feel comfortable. But two, now that they're ready to sign up with an actual coach in person, who do you think they're going to choose if they've gone through your online stuff? So it's a no-brainer. And I like the way you structure it. And that's why I'm excited to kind of get into this next segment with you is you make it so simple where there's a lot of like trainer different apps and things that get really complicated. But what you've done, and I've seen from some of your posts in the past year recently, is it's all right there. It's in some software. We're going to talk about that. But yeah. Guys, if you're girls too, if you're listening to this, you're a gym owner, think about this. You got your in-person stuff, your one-on-one, your group training, maybe it's a large group, maybe it's a small group, but now you got this new, for Amanda's term, prong that's driving in some additional, and technically it could be at this point passive revenue that's going to support your business, but also your lifestyle. The gentleman you were working with, what's he doing? 3,000 a day?
Yeah, $3,000 a month in recurring, not counting what's coming in from other things that I'm going to talk about more in the next segment, how we are able to get some of these higher priced cart values up, right? It's not just, but I want to say this too, which I didn't mention. We started with a $44 challenge and a $37 membership. Okay. We're not talking high ticket. We're not talking big investments from people, and they're no risk almost. So, but we're able now to, and this is continuing to grow every single month. But as of, I think last week, he was at $3,000 a month in recurring revenue off of a $37 membership. And I want to remind you, he had no list starting out. He had no major social media presence. He was, he's an awesome person, but he just wasn't in this whole marketing space. He's been just doing, the personal training and he's got, doing that kind of stuff. But we're able to start really from ground zero and get him up to $3,000 a month in recurring, not counting what happens on the challenges. And that to me, and to many people, is literally life-changing income. It can change how you run your business. It can change how you're maybe able to pay yourself again. Like, who knows what can happen with that $3,000 and above, right? That's just the starting point. Hey, thanks for checking out this video. Subscribe and ring the bell if you haven't done that already. And if you'd like to check out more of our videos, go ahead and just tap the screen right here.